Hey guys, today's Tuesday, June the 13th of 2023, and I want to go over the dollar, energy sector, and metal. So without any further delay, let's get into it. You guys haven't seen this chart in a while because I haven't really been covering it, but this is the uranium energy sector. And energy sector and the uranium is moving, grinding higher. I expect it to be hitting 63 all the way to I have a target of 77, which is the center of gravity, according to Gann's theory. So keep your eye on the uranium sector and some stocks. As long as the uranium spot and the uranium futures are moving up, this is UX2. You can look at UX1 on TradingView. I have a funny feeling that, the uranium sector is going to be rising up as long as we could continue pushing higher. So I just want to give you a heads up. I follow this sector too. I just don't really cover it that much just because it's a dinosaur. It doesn't, it takes a while for it to move. But finally, it broke out of this consolidation pattern, and you can see that now we're trending higher. So target on futures would be this 763. But I think it's going to go even higher. The only risk you have here, and I just want to warn you, is the Ukraine war situation. Something happens in one of those nuclear sites or nuclear facilities, then things could get really ugly really quick. So that's the only risk. I mean, there might be some other ones, but that's the main one that I'm noticing that could just switch things really fast and things could just go south. But so far it's grinding higher in the midst of a war. I don't know why, but hey, it is what it is. So good industry or sector to keep on your radar. Let's go into our normal, which is crude. As you can see, chopping around on the weekly. Now looks like the weekly is still now back in play to the downside. We're trying to hold the 50%, which is at 68.50. And on the daily, we're just chopping around, bouncing off of it. And it looks like there's a trigger squeeze play to the short side on the daily. So if it's going to play out, it's going to have to push and maybe test the 63, 64. In regards to our Bob, same thing. We're in Chop Fest in the mobile bands. And the path of least resistance as of right now looks like it wants to go lower, but it's kind of midpoint. I haven't seen any reds yet, but it looks like it wants to go and push lower. So target could be that 225 on the daily. You got a PPS sell signal. You got them on both time frames on crude and RBOB, but we haven't cracked 247 yet. Once we crack, below 247, it could get Momo, maybe, stall around 237, 239. But if that fails, the target would be is 225. Once it gets down there, what I want to see if it's going to hold. If that bounces off there, then maybe it's a fail new low, and now it could probably retrace. But so far, it looks like it wants to maybe test that. In regards to natural gas, my throat is getting parched. In regards to natural gas, our Hekanashi is turning, positive. Looks like it wants to turn. The remember season cycles, June 12th, 6th through the 12th. Well, yesterday it was the 12th, and we're getting a nice little pop. We got a yellow histogram. The mobile is about to turn positive. Hekanashi daily candle is positive, not white yet. It's not trending, but it's working on there. And we got to see if we could just close above that mobile band. And we need to close on the weekly 241 in order to at least test 253 all the way to 268. So far it's looking good. Histogram is looking good. And as long as we could push higher, well, we'll cover more later in the day. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to just get all these out of the way. Heating oil, still in Chop Fest. Nothing there. Just squeeze play on the daily. In the mobile bands here. So there's like really nothing to talk about. Let's go to the metals. I'm long as of 1980, 1950, 1960, around there. I think I got it on this one. This low right here is the one I got in 1960. I'm waiting for it to break above 1983 to get maybe to a target of 2000. And that's all dealing with the dollar if it's going to push lower. And we're going to look at that But so far I put some trend lines. It's stalling here a little bit, but on the daily it's kind of holding there. So we'll see if that's going to hold. Hopefully it doesn't go down now and hit my stop. So I'm watching this one. In regards to on the daily, still in the squeeze play. Silver kind of having a tough time with this trend line in the mobile band. Kind of positive, hasn't pulled really hard back on the weekly, and on the daily you see it here more in detail hitting that trend line and just kind of still below above the pivot of 24.15, just kind of hovering around there. We could close above that, and it's going to give us some momo to at least test this trend line that high. But you can see so far the histogram is already on the positive side on the daily, and the weekly is looking positive too. Copper looks like it's getting some momo, so this is a good opportunity to go long. It's going to go back to that 47408, so that's looking good. You can see is digging deeper into the mobo. We need to cross above 394, but so far it's looking good. I might probably go, maybe a scalp a little something here on copper today or tomorrow. Maybe wait for a little pullback, look at the shorter time frame. As long as it could hold 382, we're in game. So that's looking good. Bouncing off this trend line in the squeeze play on the weekly. And you can see that the daily triggered long. I mean, it was 3 days in and then it triggered long. Let's look at platinum. Looking weak. Looks like this trend line could maybe hold it. You can see the blue histogram says below the mobile band on the weekly and below this pivot of 997. So keep an eye on that trend line. If it could bounce off that, maybe that could be a little scalp to the upside. But so far, the pressure is to the downside. Let's look at platinum real quick. This is platinum. I always get these two confused. Palladium got this nice little, bounce to the bounce up, and it cracked this pivot here of 1335. I was gonna say that I was gonna test it, and it went right through it and then bounced up. So I like to see if we could close above 1337. Might even go long here. So these are two I'm thinking about trying to, any pullback, see if I could get, a long position to go at least back into the midpoint, like 1504 around there. The daily so far is looking good. I mean, there's some pivots here. You could probably go at least to 1440. So I'm going to keep my eye on copper and on palladium. Platinum is just kind of weak. Let's look at the dollar. The dollar kind of bounced off the 50. Got a little bounce, and now it's below, hovering around the 50 again, and you got this Gann fan here. So be interesting. Once I see that cracking here, I'm gonna get more aggressive on these metals. I'm just waiting for it to fail the 50 right here, and then if it fails, probably find support here and maybe test this 75. And if it continues, then it's gonna go to my target of 98. That's the one I have my eyes on, 98. What time is it? 8. I got a couple of minutes. I probably won't cover all the nat gas, but we'll do it quick. We got the monthly 235. We're battling that right now. It's 233. That's the monthly midpoint. As you can see, we're above on the daily, 226. So target to the upside, 235 for today and 238. And for the week, 238. 243 and 248. Those the extreme. Once you get to 248, if you're scalping, I will lock in profits. But so far you're above 227, so that is good. Let's look at same thing here. MACD is positive. You're above the 50. You're battling the 20, but you're in the cloud, so it's going to get a little volatile here. You're above point of control, and you're dealing with the point of control on the weekly, which is right here. We got a monthly MACD signal kicking in. We got to wait for next month to come in so that can stay, in position. And let's go. You're dealing with the 20 right here, and the value area high is 241. This is going to be the big level we're going to have to deal with, which is right here. The 50% is 248. But you're above the 231. I think I'm running out of time here. Let's go back to, let's see, our market profile. I've changed this to support resistance now, because now, it's resistance for us. But if we could grind and push higher and crack out of here, it's going to be support, and then it'll turn green. We have support here. Monday looks like the bulls had more of the control of the volume, the 12th. So right here is what the 12th is, and the weekly cycle bottomed smack right in the middle, and now these weekly cycles go up. While on the daily, there's one that is going to be turning in July, so you got to keep an eye on that too. I think I am running out of time. That's it for me. Let's go back to here and do the square 9. So we're at 235, somewhere around here. So keep an eye on 238, which lines up with the 199 February low. And the, what is it? The 241. Trying to do this quick, but I think I ran out of time. Just keep an eye on the price. Those are the key levels you want to keep an eye on. Let's look at some, the thing that concerns me is that June and July seasonality wise, it's weak, sideways to down, but the weekly cycle is pointing up. We just hit a trough. So those are the two things you want to be, eyeing. What's going to play out? Is it going to just as a bounce, a head fake bounce to push us low into June, July, or we're going to start grinding slowly higher because the weekly cycles are pointing up? I'm going to sign up. Have a good trading, good day, and I'll keep you posted on my thoughts on the dollar, energy, and the metals.